Hello everyone, my name is Olena Palatnik. I'm regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and I'm here to discuss with you a few topics connected with immigration to Canada for any foreign national 2022. We have received numerous questions on our Instagram page and in direct messages related to what to do and how to get to Canada in these years. 2022 and 2023. And here we are to discuss the major questions, the most frequently asked that you've put to us, so that you have an understanding of how the immigration to Canada works nowadays for you. Some words about ourselves. If you are new to our channel, we have been working with immigration to Canada and services everyone across the world, no matter what country you're from, for the last 17 years and have been doing it successfully. Nowadays, we have multiple offices across Europe. We are located in Canada in Morton City, Manitoba. We're dealing with the majority of immigration streams, starting from all types of provincial nominee programs, federal programs, family sponsorship, visitor visas, work permits, study permits, etc. Everything that you may be interested in connected with immigration and getting a visa to Canada is what we do 24/7 for all our candidates. If you have any direct questions, you can put them in the comments so that we can get back to you, or you can just find all our contact details in the description of this video, and then we will get back to you in some 48 hours with either free preliminary consultation in the video format for you to understand the organization of the process of getting to Canada and what we can do for you, or we will just get back to you to find out more about your request and be able to provide you with specific services that will bring you to the result. So the major question that was asked many times is, I want to work in Canada, can you help me? The first thing that you need to know about working in Canada, if you are not yet in Canada, is that this is one of the most difficult processes in the whole world and one of the most difficult processes to get to Canada, comparing to the process of getting an immigration status first, becoming a permanent resident in Canada, and then to find employment. Why? Because first and foremost, if you're, for example, living in Colombia or you're living in Peru or whatever you are, you have to find an employer in Canada who had also addressed the government of Canada and proved that this specific employer was searching for a specific employee in Canada who is already in the country but failed to find one talented, and now he wants to offer you a job, a foreign national. The procedure of getting such kind of the permit from the government of Canada to the employer in Canada can take from 4 and more months and costs a bit of a fortune for the employer. So the majority of employers will finally go back to the labor market in Canada and search for the workers inside the country. From the other side, there are several programs where it is said that to immigrate to Canada, you may try to find an employer who is designated already, who has the permission to get foreign workforce, to give you a job offer and to bring you to Canada, and by this support your immigration process. There is an Atlantic immigration program, rural and northern immigration pilot, some other programs that are connected with this type of scheme of immigration. And in this occasion, in public sources, you may find the contacts of employers whom you can send your resume, your cover letter. Maybe they will call for the meeting with you online. And in some cases, it's like one time in 100. It may happen that you will get a job offer and therefore you will be able to come to Canada on a work permit or already at once with a permanent residency, because this specific employer is a participant of the immigration stream, and this immigration stream can bring you to Canada as a permanent resident. But this is one of the most difficult things. Another thing you need to know, that immigration consultants like me, like our center, is not a recruitment company. We do not deal with specific recruitment and finding you a job. We are here to ease your way and to service you to get a permanent resident status, immigration to Canada. Why? First thing is that when you come to Canada as an employee on a closed work permit, for the specific employer in Canada, it means that you have to work only for this employer for the whole time that is stipulated in your labor agreement. which means that you don't even know this employer. You come to Canada, you start working, and you realize that something is wrong. The duties are wrong, the attitude to you is wrong, the employer doesn't take the responsibility on the workplace. Anything may happen just because his behavior or your behavior contradict each other. You may not like this job, but in order not to lose the opportunity to stay in Canada or to get an immigration status further on, you have to stick to this employer, and this is kind of slavery that we are absolutely against of. What we do is service you with getting a permanent resident status in Canada. It may take the same time as getting a work permit, sometimes even faster, but in the end of the process, you get the permanent residency, which gives you all the rights, the same as Canadian citizens have, except for voting and some work placements in government. Which means that when you come to Canada on a permanent resident status, you have the right to work for any employer, to live in any province, in any city. You are not a slave. You can do whatever you want in frames of the legislative protocols. And this gives you some freedom to start your life and not to be under influence of your employer. Sometimes it happens that the employer is fantastic and you like him very much and everything is okay. But there are many, many cases when this is not the case. When you have troubles with the employer, but because you want to get an immigration status with this employer, you have to stick to him for at least 1 to 2 years, and this is a real slavery. This is not what you actually need. All you need is to have an immigration status, because in this occasion, not only you, but your family members, your spouse, your kids, aged until 22, can join you in the immigration process, and at the same time, you can come as a family all together. Both to find employment in Canada and to find work and to immigrate to Canada. In both cases, you will need to go through the IELTS examination or any other type of exam that is valid for immigration or employment in Canada, which means you have to prove that you know English language, even if you are from an English-speaking country. For your employment in Canada and for immigration both, you will most probably need the so-named Educational Credentials Assessment. This is when your diplomas are evaluated by the Canadian organization that is designated to do so, and they say, for example, your bachelor's degree from your country is equal to bachelor's degree in Canada, and this gives you additional points in the immigration stream. So for both working temporary, which is up to 3 years, or coming permanently as a permanent resident, the requirements usually are all the same, except for in the immigration process, you address the government directly. And when it is with an employer, the employer has to address the government, you have to address the government, and all these must play one ball, which is very, very complicated and has a lot of risks of refusal. From one side, the employer may say, I don't want him anymore, and you are in the middle of the process. We had this situation with one of the clients that came to us. She came with an immigration visa that was annulled. Can you imagine this? She went through the process of immigration with an employer support in one of the Atlantic provinces. She was selected. She had wonderful skills. She had great knowledge of English language. All the documents were in order, and the employer gave her a job offer, which consequently brought her to getting an endorsement support letter from the province, and subsequently she applied for the permanent residency on the federal level of the government, got the immigration visas, but then in a week time, when everything was sold and she was already with her suitcases, with the flight itinerary ready to fly to Canada, the government of Canada sent her a letter stating that her visa is null and void because the employer said he is not interested in her anymore. And she spent for the process approximately 2 years. 2 years for nothing. Now this person is at the final stage of immigration process, waiting for the passport request to get her immigration visas with another immigration program where she is not connected to an employer at all. There are many programs like that. You have nowadays more than 100 immigration streams in Canada, enabling you to submit an application and to get the permanent residency status without these works for someone waiting and being under risk. So why not consider all these types of programs? For this, we do have a very massive evaluation of chances to immigration to Canada service that includes you filling in the application form with all your background information and us evaluating you propose all types of programs possibly available in all the territory of Canada. And then we find the optimal strategy for you, and then you know that you need to pass your English exam at this specific level. It can be very low or very high. It is better to know about it in the very beginning. Whether you need to do the evaluation of your credentials assessment and education, whether you need to have a specific experience and what documents you need to prove this work experience, what region will most likely select you. We answer all the questions, and then in the very beginning, when you have just decided that you want to live in Canada, you have all this roadmap already on paper in your head with full synchronization with the legislation of Canada in immigration area presently at the moment when the consultation is provided. So this evaluation of chances consultation is a must, and this is step number one that you need in order to understand what to do. In some cases, we will tell you, okay, let's try to find an employer, or we will tell you, let's try go study to Canada, and then because you have studied in Canada, you will have an opportunity to get a work permit, the postgraduate work permit, to work in Canada, and because you will have the education and experience in Canada further in some years, you will be able to submit an application for permanent residency. But as you see, this is a very long way, really, in comparison with getting your permanent resident status at the first place, just as one program that will bring you to getting this status. Another very frequent question is, how much does it cost to immigrate to Canada? This is approximately the same as you may ask the medical center, how much does it cost to be healthy? It depends on your state of the health. It depends on the diseases you have. It depends on the treatment you would like to get. And this is all the same with immigration and getting visa services and to get to Canada. In some cases, your application may be very easy, that you can do it yourself. You will just need some kind of direction in the form of evaluation of chances when we tell you what to do, when to do, what documents to submit, and you do it yourself. So this is just the minimum cost, and you will just have immigration fees that the government of Canada collects. This information can be found throughout internet on the official website of the government of Canada on cic.gc.ca. From another side, you may have a very complicated case, for example, critical diseases that are not admissible to Canada or risky admissible. You may have troubles with criminality in your past that will make us submit the criminal rehabilitation application before we submit the application to immigration at all for permanent residency. In some cases, you may be a single father or mother with another parent not willing to let your kid go together with you to Canada, and this will also make the process more difficult and lengthy. But believe me or not, if you really want to go to Canada and to live there, you will get there. Just probably 1% of people who are willing to get to Canada and get a permanent resident status fail. 99% succeed. It may take a lot of time, 1 year, 2 years, sometimes it may take even 7 years, but at the end of the day, everyone who wants to come to Canada, they do it. So the only thing is to find out the pathway, to find out how much actually funds you will need in order to succeed in the process of immigration and what to do. What we do in this occasion, when you get the consultation from us in the very beginning, the evaluation of chances, we also provide you with a total estimation of costs specifically for your family, for your individually, because this may differ from one candidature to another. This estimation includes all the fees related to the government collection, all the fees related to educational credentials assessment, translation of documents, other visa fees, our services, and different types of our services that we may provide you to facilitate your immigration process. And when you have the pathway in the form of the written consultation and the video consultation, which is personal for you from one side, and you have the estimation of the cost that you will need in order to get to Canada. At the same moment, you can make a decision how you will get to Canada, whether you can afford it, or what you should do in order to make your chances higher in the nearest future. What is the best place to live in Canada? This is what you ask very often. The best place to live in Canada is Canada. Actually, it is very similar. I mean, like the cities and the provinces look pretty much the same. It's just the matter of where it is easier to start your life. I myself live in Morden, Manitoba, which is a city with a population less than 10,000 people. And I must say that this city is one of the easiest to begin your life in Canada because it is small. You will not have to pay so much money and spend on traffic, transportation. There is less competition in different fields. There is more attention to your kids in school, stuff like that. So if you're considering coming to Canada, it's better to find the small city first, to learn how to live in Canada in this small city, and then you're free to go. I mean, like when you already realized the psyche of Canadian lifestyle, you have settled down, adapted, you already found the job, received Canadian work experience, which is also very important, you can further continue your trip through Canada and find another place. There are many examples of our clients who settled down first in such cities as Morden, Winkler, Altona, it's in Manitoba, in small cities in Ontario, in Alberta, and then subsequently in some 4 years, 3 years, they moved to a bigger city like Vancouver, like Toronto, and continued their life there very successfully. But to be on a safe side, it's better to start from a smaller city where people will more likely assist you and help you just because they are more kind and have more time for you. They volunteer a lot and they will be able to assist you. For example, in Morden City, we have a very huge volunteer organizations that assist every newcomer that comes from another country, starting from helping with English language, assisting with getting a kid to school, finding employment, making a resume, opening bank accounts, finding all the information that you may need for your life. This is not something that you will find in bigger cities. In a big city, you are just alone usually, and it's very complicated even to find some rent for when you don't have any credit history in Canada. In smaller cities, it is more possible, and there are many job opportunities to start that will let you live normally in this city, in this country. I mean, like you will have enough funds for your daily routine expenses. What occupation is most in demand in Canada? It depends on the region and it depends on the immigration stream. For example, in Manitoba, you will find the in-demand occupation list. These are the professions that are eligible if you have the experience at least 2 years out of last 5 years in the specific occupations. Opposite to Manitoba is Saskatchewan province. They have the list of the occupations they don't need, ineligible occupations. So everyone is okay except those who are in that list. And from one province to another province, the legislation will differ because every province in Canada, every region, they organize their immigration process and introduce their immigration streams themselves. All of them for sure bring you to the federal level because it's not a province who gives you visa. This is the federal government, the embassy for sure, that gives you a visa that lets you enter Canada and stay in Canada temporarily or permanently. So it all depends individually. For example, if you are a welder from any foreign country, I would say that this occupation is in demand in Manitoba. It is in demand in the Atlantic provinces. It is very highly demanded occupation in case you know English well and you satisfy all the other requirements of the immigration streams. I may say you will have approximately 6 program variants to get to Canada with this occupation. If you are a lawyer or a doctor, that is a little bit more complicated and there will be a limited number of programs, but there still will be. They will absolutely differ from those for the welders, you may understand. The bottom line is that for each occupation, for each person individually, the immigration process will differ, and that is why you need to know your specific chances, your specific programs and strategy in the very beginning. Even if your friend with almost the same background succeeded in this or that program, it doesn't mean absolutely that you will succeed too, because time passed, legislation could have changed, and this happens approximately once in 3-4 months that the legislation changes in Canada. So it is better to spend time on finding the pathway specifically for you and not just, trying to submit applications as a lottery ticket. This is not the United States, this is Canada. No lotteries here. Okay, so we hope this information was useful for you. If you would like to get any individual consultation or you have direct questions, specific questions, and you want just to find out some detailed information about immigration and getting a visa to Canada, please, you can email us on info@polyon.com. The email is in the description of this video. You can also go to our website. It's www.polyon with L and N.com. You can find us on Instagram, and all the contact details are also provided below this video. Looking forward to hear back from you. Thank you for your attention.